Call to order this regular meeting of the Verona Township Council for Monday, the 19th of May, 2025. Madam Clerk, would you please read the Open Public Meetings Act of state?
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied with respect to this meeting of the Township Council. The meeting time and date were included in the public meeting notice, along with the public internet link, telephone call, and information. Said notice and meeting agenda was posted in the municipal building and sent to the official newspapers of the township, the Verona City Grove Times, and the Star Ledger, at least 48 hours preceding the start time of this meeting. The agenda and public handouts can be viewed online at veronanj.org/council meetings. A public comment period will be held in the order it's listed on the meeting agenda, and instructions on how to comment will be provided at the appropriate time.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Would you call the roll, please?
Councilwoman Holland. Here. I'm sorry. Councilwoman McGrath. Here. Councilman Roman.
Here.
Deputy Mayor McAvoy.
Present.
Mayor Tamboro.
Here.
Mayor also present on tonight is Township Attorney Brian Aloya, Township Manager Kevin O'Sullivan, Deputy Township Manager Michael Kraus, myself, Municipal Clerk Jennifer Kiernan.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Whatever, please stand. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We begin with the mayor's report. Today, first off, I had the opportunity to attend the ribbon cutting for the Our Lady of Lake School Trust Marketplace. This is an annual event where the students practice entrepreneurial skills, meet with local business vendors and so on, and then put on a marketplace. And it was great to attend. I got to pick up some nice treats for my dog and others. It was great to see all those young entrepreneurs at a park. I also had the opportunity to attend the Verona Foundation for Educational Excellence Inspiring Excellence Award ceremony this past Friday. It's always a pleasure to support the VFEE because they support our students and our teachers in the schools. And congratulations to the 7 educators who were chosen to receive those awards this year. It was really an all-star here from them. The Verona Environmental Commission met last week to discuss various things, including their upcoming newsletter. There is a cleanup and trail preparation that will be happening next weekend, so make sure to visit the Verona Environmental Commission website for details on all of those. I do encourage everybody to attend those cleanup events. The planning board will be meeting this Thursday to discuss to have a presentation on the 4th round housing element and fair share plan. There will be a special meeting pending on the 19th of June to approve that plan. Our Memorial Day parade and ceremony is coming up on a week from today. This year, John LaCrasto will be our Grand Marshal. Mr. Plasto was here to receive the Vietnam Veterans Day proclamation, and it's my honor to name him as the Grand Marshal. We look forward to that event and encourage everybody to come. It's a really great day for the community and a wonderful day to remember those and give the rest of us. Next week, also at the end of the week, is the Verona Schools Asian American Pacific Islander celebration. I encourage everybody to attend that as well. I will not be in the state at that time, because the president agreed to deputize for me on that day. And I also encourage everyone to attend the Township's Pride celebration that weekend as well. At this time, I'll call Mr. Poltra, our county liaison.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
1 second, Jay.
Sure, I have to break. There we go. Of this past weekend, we had the recycling for electronics, which went very, very well.
and a lot of good things went into recycling. Coming up, May 29th is the fishing derby at Verona Park. That's Wednesday, May 9th. And then June 5th, also at Grover Cleveland, just in case you'd like to attend the second derby. And registration is from 5 to 6 p.m. And fishing starts from 6 to 7, and prizes will be given out afterwards. Saturday, June 7th, from 8:30 to 12 noon, and in 99 Bradford, Cedar Grove again, is our paper shredding. So if you have documents home and taxes, etc., that you'd like to have shredded, please make that mark that day down, June 7th at 8:30 a.m. to 12 noon, 99 Bradford. And then we're coming into the summer concert or summer music festival, which I was looking at the various types of shows that are being, but the very first one is it's a fireworks night, June 27th. It's a Friday in Branchford Park, and you will see New Jersey Symphony Orchestra. They always put on a very good show with fireworks, and there are other fireworks July 1st, in Weequahic Park, and in Brookdale Park there'll be Wednesday, July 2nd. The Inferno, those three shows start at 7:30, but there's Soul Machine, Men of Soul, there's gospel music, True Soul, Big Band, Jamaican music. I'm just reading some of the other Caribbean Festival, International Food and Music Festival. So we have an array. Most likely a lot of the citizens of the town and the county will receive our annual brochure that goes out to everyone. That's about it there.
Any questions for the liaison? Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda is our proclamation for National EMS Week. Before I read the proclamation, I do want to recognize that there are several members of the Rescue Squad in the gallery tonight. For those who can't see from home, this is my 24th year in the EMS, and I can say that in those 24 years, I have met some of the most intelligent, selfless, driven, and service-oriented people probably in the world at this point. It is what our EMTs and paramedics and nurses and physicians and first responders and drivers and everybody involved in the system, what they do is considered superhuman to others. Many could not conceive or conceptualize that when somebody calls 911 that they would be the one to show up. It is such an important field, whether you are a volunteer or a staff member or both, that is truly making a difference in the lives of others. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank all of my colleagues in the EMS system. As somebody who's been patient of the Run Rescue Squad on at least one occasion, I also thank you guys for that as well. Karen, you were there for the last one, right? But anyway, I'm going to proceed with reading the proclamation, and then we'll invite everybody up to receive it. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical service teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas emergency medical services has grown to fill a gap by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventative medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine. Whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, and emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, police officers, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public, and other out-of-hospital medical care providers. And whereas members of emergency medical service teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. Whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and accomplishments of emergency medical service providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Dr. Christopher Tamboro, Mayor of the Township of Verona, proclaim the week of May 18th to 24th, 2025 as Emergency Medical Services Week. The witness whereof I set my hand and cause the great seal of the Township of Verona in the County of Essex, State of New Jersey, to be affixed on this the 18th day of May in the year 2025. And the term will come up and go down, but then you'll all right, let's the commander, let's get this organized. Karen, we can get some people on this side, some people behind. Up in. Thank you. Up in, you want to get on the side? Thank you. Back's always in the back.
Let me hide behind you.
On this side.
I'm hiding behind you.
Karen.
Can you just move it a little bit? I'm sorry.
See, it's the
I
hiding
don't-
behind me.
I'm trying not to get the.
Getting you in trouble.
record in. Good. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Sorry, I didn't make you get first.
Before everybody runs out, if any of the other council members want to say anything, that would be it.
I'm sorry.
Time.
But now we're gonna say it slow. And
I think the only word to use is thank you. I know Chris said he's 23, 24 years. I know there's others that have been on there a lot longer and put many, many hours. When you guys used to do the dinner, I was always amazed at the milestones, how many hours you all hit. It's amazing, and people don't realize, but when you have a need for your services, it's a desperate situation, and you guys are far and away above anyone in any other field, the way you service the town of Verona.
That was lovely. I do want to thank everyone on the rescue squad and not only the long-serving members, but the youth members. My son just is completing his first year on the squad, and seeing it from the inside makes me appreciate it even more. And I also love the fact that this is one of our oldest squads in the state. So you're really carrying on such a wonderful tradition. And in other communities, they would love to have a volunteer squad as excellent as ours. They're really not satisfied with the paid ones. So thank you so much for all of your volunteerism in Verona.
I would just echo the words of my colleagues. Thank you so much for everything that you do for our community.
Councilman Roman?
I'll also echo my colleagues' comments. Thank you very much for the spirit of volunteerism, for being able to make your time available to the township and to all of your fellow residents and neighbors. We really appreciate what you do for this entire community. Thank you for your dedication.
Thank you, everybody. Get back to work. All right, take care. Have a good night. And we are now moving on to the township manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to provide a quick update on some of the projects we have going on. The main pool relining is complete. The pool was relined Friday and Saturday. The pool is now filled and being balanced and ready for the opening day this weekend. On the wastewater projects, we've circulated the draft sanitary sewer smoke study. We will be putting that into final form at the end of the month. We have our primary clarifier pump station project that's still marching along. That'll pick up and accelerate later this summer. And our Derwent Avenue sewer line trunk repairs were complete. As a reminder to the council, this was an emergency condition that was declared in late 2024 by resolution. So we will need to pass an additional resolution at a June meeting for the final certification of the additional work that was required to address that emergency. For our water wells, Lynn Drive well, we have the final change order on the agenda for this evening. It's primarily an extension of time. There's a minor financial increase on that change order. Fairview Avenue well is currently out to bid. We had to issue an addendum, so the bids are scheduled to be received June 12th. Claridge Drive Pump Station, the iBank issued the authorization to advertise to award earlier today. So we will be able to now schedule that pre-construction meeting in the coming weeks. For some of our road projects, Boswell Administration and Neighborhood Traffic Safety Committee met to discuss the final design for Linden Avenue. Bids are being prepared for this summer. The final design is largely reflective of what was presented. The only minor addition is some temporary breakaway barriers at some of the curb crosswalks that can be removed for the winter months. Some of those extended crosswalks will have little accentuating features to them more than just the paint that was shown on the plans. The next DOT project that we are moving forward with is also the award from last year, the Dodd Terrace Afterglow Way and Summit Road. That project is part of the capital budget for discussion in a little bit, but we are preparing those with anticipation of having that project out to bid this summer as well. County is continuing to move forward with the repaving project of Bloomfield Avenue. The current phase of that is replacement of ADA ramps at all of the intersections. The last item, two last items for traffic projects. The next round of DOT grant applications are due July 1st. So we are reviewing the road assessment study, and we will be preparing a resolution for a June agenda for applying for the 2025 grant application window. And then lastly, some of the recent traffic concerns that have come up to through administration are regarding intersections of Summit, Mount Prospect, and Sunset Glen. We are meeting with Boswell's traffic division and Verona Police Department on Friday morning to discuss those further. Pickleball and tennis courts project was supposed to be moving forward with some additional work earlier today. There's some minor delays in the delivery of the fence fabric. It wasn't delivered to the site today, but we are expecting them to continue with the construction next week. There is not a lot of work remaining on the project, but we do need that fence fabric to move on to the remainder of the project. There is, however, also a change order on the agenda for tonight for a minor increase there for some additional stone and mulch around the perimeter of the site. Regarding shade trees, we are going to be moving forward with the recommendation in Mini Park. There were some minor revisions. Primarily, that was the reduction of tree removal in Mini Park to accommodate the new evergreen tree. It's a reduction down to just 2 tree removals, which we will look to supplement with tree plantings throughout the town, as we do in every calendar year. Trying to jump through some of the other projects. The town hall repointing project is still proceeding. We are expecting window delivery this week. The repointing is nearly wrapping up. The grinding out of the masonry is nearly wrapping up. The window installation and the repointing will continue over the next 4 to 6 weeks. There are some additional items that need to be addressed as the project was proceeding. There were some cracks in the stairs that were exacerbated through the construction process. So there's some additional stair replacement and some additional minor trim work that needs to be addressed. So we're negotiating that with the contractor. At this point, we'll have a change order at a future meeting. And then The last item to report on is just a grant update. We submitted an application for the Inclusive Healthy Communities program. The township was just received an announcement that we were awarded $250,000 to advance initiatives regarding inclusive healthy communities. So we will wait for further directions from the state, and we'll proceed with moving into that project at as soon as we have the authorization from the state. That concludes my general report, but then we need to move into a discussion on the general capital budget. The council had previously received a proposed capital budget in prior budget discussions. In front of you tonight is an updated capital budget. The only changes here are some reductions of a few items in the general capital. There was a reduction in from Mason dump trucks from 2 down to 1. There were some minor reductions in fire prevention, where there's a slight reduction in the cost of the vehicle. There was the deferral of radios, so those will be pushed into a future year. And vehicles, we are proceeding with testing one printer in one vehicle as a pilot program first. So there's a slight reduction across the fire prevention and DPW with their truck. There's also reduction, elimination of the open space trail design that will be shifted into the open space trust. The streetscape design was submitted as initially 276,000. It was reduced to 175,000 based upon some negotiations with the low, or one of the lower bidders, but they dropped their price for the design of the streetscape project. The solar project has been removed as previously reported on, and some of the municipal parking lot designs have been deferred for future years to allow for some of the other streetscape element projects and some of the other capital projects to move forward. The only other item that was removed was the Polaris Ranger utility vehicle. It was a cost of $52,000 that's being deferred based on review and discussion with the chief. Altogether, it's approximately a reduction of I believe it was about 750,000.
Around that.
Also previously distributed to the council was a debt impact, which assessed the potential impact of the total capital projects requested in the initial distribution. The initial list was approximately $10.5 million. If the council has that debt sheet in front of them, it layered in existing debt service, all the existing bond anticipation notes, and the proposed $10.5 million that were requested in the original capital budget. The general impact is approximately $174 for the new debt, for the new $10.5 million capital budget. That's in the peak year as you're layering on all the existing debt and the potential new debt. The average impact is approximately $147 or $148 to the average assessed home. Again, that projection was based upon a $10.5 million capital budget. We've made some reductions by approximately $750,000. We also are not layering in the grants or future grants that we may receive for some of these projects as well. So there are, that is a worst case scenario. It's actually come down significantly from the previous impact assessment based upon the reductions in some of the grants that exist that we know of.
To clarify for the public, the initial request from department heads were closer to 15 million.
Yes.
So that was brought down to this, and the council feedback, and going back to some department heads, it was reduced by another 750 from the 10.
Correct. And we know we have over $1 million in grants between our two DOT projects and the Everett Field Green Acres and CDBG for Everett Field as well. So there's significant grants which offset the long-term debt costs.
And the one big ticket item that is not on this is the emergency services building, so that would be a separate, that is being financed separately. So that we have not done yet, so just also for public edification, this is our normal needs that we're fulfilling. And then there was that additional potential expense for the public safety complex as well.
Correct.
Councilwoman?
Thank you. So, Mr. Sullivan, you look at the, like, our bigger picture to put it into context for the public. And, taking on, we're doing a lot of projects, which is good. Is there an end in sight where we're getting through this backlog of engineering things that we have to get through? And like because again, as the mayor already mentioned, we have this big looming thing where we have to replace major infrastructure buildings. So what is your take on the big picture, our debt situation, the future? You want to give a little context to that?
Sure. If you're looking at big picture, obviously there are a number of projects that are catch-up projects, which mostly fall in the category of utility projects. As far as general capital, the Everett Field project is a $4+ million project, which is not a typical project that you'll see every year. The more realistic projects that you'll see are regarding facility needs. You'll see one of the bigger ticket items on this year's capital budget is roof repairs for the community center and for the tower building right there. That's a cost of $1.6 million. That is a significant cost. That is a project that is overdue. However, there will be ongoing capital needs. I think those will be the larger projects that you see. You'll still have significant projects between roads, facility needs, general recreational needs, but when you're looking at the big projects like a $4 million Everett Field project or a $1.6 million roof project, those are the ones that are overdue and having the ripping the Band-Aid off moment this year. If you're looking at the general big picture as far as debt impacts, we do have some current existing debt service, which is set to mature in 2028, and then another debt issuance, which is set to mature in 2034. So as ongoing needs emerge, or as we start to come across the ongoing needs, we'll have some debt that is coming off the books to help offset some of those other upcoming projects. So the projects will still keep coming, but they should start to slow down.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you. I would just comment on your last statement regarding kind of like ripping the Band-Aid off. The way I kind of see it is that some of these are needed investments that have been necessary for a really long time. And, the issue is you're either going to pay now or you're going to pay a whole lot more later. And there have been many, many councils before us that opted for that latter approach of causing us to pay more later. So we're now in this situation where we are paying these things, but they are necessary improvements. So as much as they may seem significant, perhaps it does feel like ripping a Band-Aid off, it is a necessary action that we need to take now. Otherwise, it's only going to cost further and be a detriment to our taxpayers.
Any other comments? I appreciate you taking council feedback and going back and narrowing this down. Even though it is a lot of money, it's certainly less than it could have. We'll look forward to some of these things happening, materializing for the benefit of the community.
We'll prepare the bond ordinance for introduction at the next meeting and adoption at the end of June.
Mr. Krebs. We are still working on the Bloomfield Avenue streetscape grant application. Mr. Fulcher was helpful before the meeting. We are planning on submitting that with Millennium, the grant consultant, this week, for the deadline on May 22nd. We are still reviewing ordinance changes for the children's fund, and as they relate to public health, keeping in mind the fees that we charge to barber shops and nail salons for licensing. The long organic fertilizer program at Veterans Field is ongoing. The first treatment was done. DPW is working to monitor it. They've also, with the help of Chief Kiernan, worked with Cedar Grove for drones so that they could get full shots of the field to see the field is still in a playable condition. Chief Kiernan also prepared a draft map of the changes for traffic flow to the community center, which we will be working with Elisa for public to push that out publicly, and about we hope to do that in the next week or so, and then about a week or so later, signs will be installed and individuals will see the new traffic flow where you come in, go to your left between the community center and the annex, work around that way instead of being able to go straight up and cut through up to White Rock Road. Tomorrow night, the Recreation Committee is meeting. We have work, they have prepared some new fees or proposed fees for recreation programs. And we have compared current expenses versus current revenue. And we'll be discussing that. There may be an ordinance change for that. The current maximum fee for most of our recreation programs is $100 per program. While most of the fees will still stay under $100 under what the committee is considering to allow for future year increases, we may request permission to charge slightly more than $100. For online platforms, we have a contract with Spatial Data Logic. They work with numerous municipalities for online permitting. We're not using them to their full potential at the moment, and we will be meeting with them again in about 2.5 weeks to see what permits we can put online and possibly explore accepting payments online so that individuals will not have to send checks or come in and pay in person. We've also requested a proposal from Prime Point, who is the township's payroll provider. They have an option to allow applications to be submitted online instead of individuals printing out a paper application, filling it out, emailing it back to the township. And we are still meeting with the OPI EU representatives, and we hope to have further updates in the next month. Any questions, Mr. Krause? Thank you, Mr. Krause. Thank you. Moving on to council member reports, Deputy Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, so a couple quick ones. Historic Preservation met last week, and they're discussing, we are actually looking over with the clerk to try to find a survey for the freight shed at the top of Herstonet. So that it's half on a neighbor's property and half on town property. So the Preservation Commission has a group that's willing to donate the money to move it. If we can't find a survey, I will be in the manager's office requesting a little bit of money just to get a survey done so we can situate it in an area where it's 100% on town property. That's really what they're focusing on right now. And then I also attended the Verona Foundation for Educational Excellence fundraiser the other night on Friday. Very well done, and congratulations to the recipients of the awards this year. That's all I have.
Councilman Roman.
Sorry, no report this evening, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman McGrath.
Thank you, Mayor. The Multicultural Inclusion and Accessibility Advisory Committee is very busy. So they helped to organize an event for Older Americans Month for this Wednesday, May 21st at 1 p.m. at the Verona Community Center. And it's a great partnership with the Verona Police, talking about home safety discussion. So that should be really important and timely. And I want to thank both the Verona Police Department and the Multicultural Inclusion and Accessibility Advisory Committee and the Senior Club for co-hosting this event. And as was already mentioned, the Verona Board of Education is putting on a lovely program on Friday, May 30th at 7 p.m. for a PI month. It looks really fantastic. I have several conflicting things that night, so I'm not sure if I'm going to make it live, but Deputy Mayor, I'm so glad you're going to be there. And the Multicultural Inclusion and Accessibility Advisory Committee will be there to help out in any way possible. And they are coordinating that currently. And their meeting is next Wednesday at the 28th at 7:30 p.m. on Zoom. And then, as was also mentioned with them, they're very, very busy. Pride is coming up on Sunday, June the 1st. And you can check out the Verona website for more information. The Neighborhood Traffic and Safety Committee hit a huge milestone at their last meeting by voting on a draft of a complete streets policy, which they emailed to the entire council. That policy was crafted with Mr. O'Sullivan and with our engineers. And so I'm very excited for that to be discussed and presented to the council in a future meeting, so that it can be adopted. Verona is one of the last towns in Essex County to have a complete streets policy. So this is incremental progress and it's very, very exciting. And finally, I too attended the Verona Foundation for Educational Excellence Award dinner. It was really lovely affair, and it was very poignant for me that my younger son's music teacher, Mr. McCloskey, was honored, especially coming right off of a very successful Music in the Parks. The music program in this township is just fabulous, and I appreciate all of our educators. But to give the gift of music is really a special thing. So congratulations to everyone. It was really a lovely evening. And that's my report. Thank you.
Councilman Hall.
Thank you so much. I'll keep my report relatively brief. I'm looking forward to the Memorial Day festivities this weekend, or this coming weekend. And I want to wish everyone a very happy and healthy Memorial Day and the unofficial start of summer, which includes opening of the Verona Community Pool. So if you have not registered to be a member of the community pool, I really want to urge you to do so. There will be a concert at the pool shortly. Is it May 3rd? May 31st?
No, it's the 30th.
30th, May 30th. So thank you for correcting me. So on May 30th, so that is coming up on an upcoming Friday, and I really want to encourage residents to attend that event as well. So thank you for correcting me on the date. We do have a Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee meeting on Tuesday night. They do have a robust agenda planned that we'll be discussing, among other things, the pool, but also recreation fees and hearing various subcommittee report outs. They are doing an exhaustive analysis of the recreation department fees, and I know they've had a lot of engagement from the administration, and I look forward to hearing their recommendations regarding those fees going forward. Their next meeting won't be until June 17th. So if you have an interest in fees, then I very much encourage you to attend tomorrow night. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. This time I will open for public comment on any item and member public wishes to bring forth to the council. Madam Clerk, would you please read these public presentations?
Anyone from the public wishing to speak on any matter, please raise your hand. If you're by pressing the raise hand button on your monitor. If you're dialing in by phone, press *9. If you're attending in person, please raise your hand before approaching the lectern. Once recognized, clearly state only your name and township of residence for the record. You're not required to provide your street address. However, if you do, please note that these meetings will be posted on the township's YouTube channel and addresses will not be redacted for any purpose. You'll have 4 minutes to address the council. There'll be no cross dialogue during this public portion, and after everyone wishing to speak has been heard, the council may address your comments and or questions. It's open.
Yes.
Mayor Trump, my name is Alfonsina and I've worked in Verona for 7 years. I was here back in April. And the reason that I'm here before you is because the residents of East Lincoln have had issues with parking due to the new businesses that are on Bloomfield Avenue. I live in one of the buildings on East Lincoln, and I have a petition that I created, and 16 out of the 18 residents have signed it. I need to do so. I will come back and get as many signatures as I can from other residents of East and West Lincoln. The issue is that during the day and especially in the evening, there's difficulty finding parking in East Lincoln, and it presents a lot of complications for those of us who live in East Lincoln. I just want to read to you an example of why this is problematic. One of the residents is a critical care nurse at Hackensack Medical, and she works 13-hour days. The last thing she wants to do is park streets away when she hardly wants to walk. We residents of Verona pay $375 every year for parking, and we are proposing that after 8 p.m. Monday to Friday, there is signs posted that says that only those with permits can park on our streets. We think it's unfair that having paid this amount of money every year, we have difficulty finding parking. There's ample parking in the municipal parking lots on Bloomfield Avenue for the businesses on the avenue. We don't want to create any issues for the businesses and the flow of traffic, but we do feel like there should be preferential treatment for those who live on East and West Lincoln. Thank you.
Your comment? Okay. Hearing none. Yep, Carol. Yep.
Good evening, I'm Carol Thomas. I'm here with a couple of different hats on tonight. For the Shade Tree Commission, sorry that I missed the discussion on the final discussion on the capital budgets.
You got what you haven't gotten anything yet, but there wasn't an objection to what you asked for.
There was no objection to what this year. Okay, thank you. And I did want to say thank you to that, because what that will do going forward is enable us to catch up on the maintenance projects that we started last year, and then start a pretty aggressive planting project, which we're planning out for this year. So that's really exciting. The plan for the civic center is moving forward. I met with Councilman McAvoy. We can discuss some of the options there. So there'll be 2 trees coming down, a new one going in, and then going forward. I mean, it's not a one done project. We're then hoping to work with the township administration and civic groups, maybe the streetscape planners, whatever you would suggest, and then come up with a more refined plan for the civic center, and we'll call it the middle park. Mr. Sullivan, I think referred to it as that, and that's the park by the memorials. We want to thank you for keeping us involved. The planning board and the board of adjustment has been sending us requests for our comments on all the projects, and we've been taking advantage of going out, looking at those trees. I was on Summit and Dodd today. We've been at Everett. We've got a subcommittee that went out to look at Linden, so we can make some intelligent comments on it. We're not trying to be obstructive about anything, but if we can work hand in hand, we really appreciate that. So any questions you have about the shade tree, we're always available to answer those. As for the garden had a very successful opening this year. We have about 115 gardeners. We have 12 new beds and boxes this year. We've already run 2 workshops. We have a 3rd one this week, weather permitting. So we've been very busy. We've had 3 scout troops, 3 Girl Scout troops this week come visit, and that's been great. I want to tell you and the public that the section we call the park, we call it the garden park, is always open. That's where the majority of the picnic tables are, the chess tables. We have toddler tables now that have toddler toys and it's not a sandbox, but it's a dirt box. And you can play in the dirt. And the kids have really been having a good time with that. So we welcome everybody to come by, take advantage, use the tables, use the umbrellas, and use the garden park there. Again, any questions or comments you have about the garden, we're always happy to answer. DPW has been amazing, working with us, Mr. Waterman, Mr. Molinaro is back and forth with emails this week. And they're fabulous to work with. Thirdly, just on a personal note, I've been trying to watch Zoom when I can't get here. I'm encouraging all of you to try and use the microphone a little more. And I encourage you to try and watch a Zoom or watch a recording, and you'll notice that it's very difficult to hear several of the people on the dais. And so if people that come off with yourselves, I encourage you to try and use the microphone. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Carl. Anybody else? This time I close public comment. I'll respond to East Lincoln. After you brought up your concern last meeting was referred to Township Administration and Police Department for review. And we are looking to hear back some recommendations on that. We don't, at this point, don't have another street in town where there is prohibited parking for people other than that live on the street unless it's a private development like a condo community. So this would be a pretty significant change in for us. The one idea that I brought up at that last meeting you're at, I think it left at that point, was the township. This is something that I've tried for a couple of years, and Mr. Sullivan's agreed to do this. It's for the township to indemnify owners of parking lots like the former Citizens Bank against insurance claims. We would insure the parking lot for municipal parking use, especially in those peak hours. And we would also police and protect the lot. So my hope is that if we did that, that would take some of the burden off the street, and we can actually put some signage up that says public parking is over here in this lot. So that's something, but all of these things, because it's a negotiation, it all takes time. So we did hear, we've had another resident of East Lincoln at the mic as well. So I want you to know your concerns are being heard, but the way government works, we have to be very careful in our approach, because anything we do sets a precedent, and we don't want everybody on every street to only want people on their street to be able to park, because we do have a shortage of parking in town. I can tell you the township has been addressing this parking shortage by buying parking lots and things like that, but the area of town where you are, there is a pretty significant shortage of municipal parking. And there are also a lot of apartments even on the other side of the road that use the surrounding areas like Fairview Avenue, Pine Street, and park overnight. So it is something we are looking into, but definitely appreciate you coming and bringing that up to make sure everybody is in progress on it. Ms. Thomas, as always, thank you for coming. We hear you on the sound quality thing. The fortunate piece is that we are going to be having a whole new system in here that will, because right now these mics are really only for to amplify in the room and to record legally. You're actually picking us up on that device there. So just the way that is kind of the problem. But with our new multi-$100,000 system that is in part offset by funds we've negotiated with Comcast, so you should have a much better quality once that project is finished. We're fortunate that we have an expert in that field on the Township Council to assist in making sure, that's Councilman Roman, in case anybody doesn't know, that the make sure that project is. Right, we have no ordinances on the agenda for tonight. At this point, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Does anybody need to pull anything? Hearing none, would somebody move the consent agenda, please? I think it was one L7.
I got it.
Is the correct
I
one?
just took it out,
Full
took out.
press?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Would you like to move it?
Thank you.
So moved.
The motion's made by the deputy mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second's made by the councilwoman. This time we'll open for public comments on the consent agenda only. The same public comment statement applies, but comments are limited to The consent agenda. Anybody have anything to add? Jen, anything on the consent agenda? No? All right, I close public comments on the consent agenda. Any council discussion? Councilman McGrath?
Yeah, thank you. I just want to point out that we are recognizing once again Gun Violence Awareness Day, which is the first Friday of June. And obviously this year it's especially poignant. I think we never hoped that you would be in the category of a community that suffered significant gun violence, but here we are. I want to thank once again all of the advocates, both in town and around in the state, that are making sure that we take a moment to recognize this local, state, and national problem. And it was inspired by a young woman whose life was cut too short. There will be activities throughout the state. You can go to wearorange.com to look them up. And there may be some local activities in Verona, but once again, I want to applaud this council for supporting gun violence awareness on these.
Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Councilwoman Holland,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGrath,
Yes.
Councilman Roman,
Yes.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McAvoy,
Yes.
Mayor Tamboro.
Yes.
Mayor, resolutions L1 through L10 will be numbered 104 through and including 113.
Okay, we do have, thank you, we do have an addendum on to two resolutions. The first is authorizing the execution of a contract with our township arborist. The second is authorizing the contract with Capital Supply Construction Products. Would somebody please move both addenda resolutions? Well, I'll do it. I'll move.
I'll second it.
Is there, Councilman Roman seconds it? Actually, this time I'll open for public comment on the addendum. Technical comment statement. Seeing no public comment. Any council discussion? Councilwoman Brad.
Yes, I have a question for the administration. So can you explain, so Gigette's is being added now as a new arborist? Is that what we're voting on?
They're being named as the primary arborist,
Okay,
and for any trees in which there might be a conflict, there are backup arborists being named as well.
okay. And is this for the tree permits when people are applying to remove a tree? They're going to be reviewing all of those, or is this for township shade trees?
Yes,
Both.
for both, yes.
Okay. And the Shade Tree Commission was aware of this change?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Just double check. Thank you.
And what was the reason for moving away from the existing provider?
There were there were issues. We were trying to go to a primary service provider, and they raised concerns about the model that the township. They no longer want to be performing the services that were being requested of.
Okay. Thank you. Any other council question? Nope. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Councilwoman Holland,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGrath,
Yes.
Councilman Roman,
Yes.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McAvoy,
Yes.
Mayor Tamboro.
Yes.
Mayor addendum N1 and N2 will be numbered 114 and 115.
Thank you. Any new or unfinished business to come before the council on the agenda? Okay. This time I'll open for public comments. Same public comment statement applies. This can be comment on anything anybody would like to bring before the council. Ms. Pearson, you're up.
Good evening, Jessica Pearson, Verona. There is a little bit of mild-mannered concern on my behalf, having a regular tree removal service who are licensed in the township to remove private trees, being kind of the judge of which trees are healthy and which trees are not, while at the same time being judged for them wanting to take down same said trees. So there seems to be a slight, in my humble opinion, and I hope you'll all consider this, internal conflict of interest with hiring a company who performs that same service that requires an arborist or a forester to oversee that service within the township. So I hope you will potentially consider maybe looking for another forester who would be unencumbered by that kind of a conflict. And thank you.
Ms. Pearson? Any other public comments? Okay. Close public comment at this time. Mr. Sullivan, do you want to respond to that concern?
No, I think that's a good concern. It was one that we had discussed internally. There was, and that's the reason why there are secondary arborists listed in which they will perform as the township arborist if a conflict does in fact exist. DJS would be the primary arborist, and then Richview and Caputo Brothers can both serve as conflict arborists in those instances.
Thank you, Mr. O'Sullivan. Right, at this time, we have passed resolution to go into executive session. Letting official action be taken.
No.
Right, everybody, we'll see you on June 9th. Same time, same station.